So you're wondering if running is good for weight loss? Well, like many people, when I first started running, it was to lose weight. And guess what? It worked. So there you have it. Running is great for weight loss. You're welcome. Okay, just kidding. It worked and I lost weight. However, I had also started eating healthier. Throughout the years, I've had periods where I have run, periods where I didn't. I have lost weight running. I also haven't. The only thing that I haven't managed to do is to gain weight while running, which I basically just do when I sit on my butt all day and my diet is kind of a mess. But anyway, well, then you're probably wondering by now, does running help you lose weight or not? First of all, I just want to let you know that this is not research-based. I'm not any type of expert. I'm not a coach. I'm not a personal trainer or whatever, anything. This is based on my own experience with running and with weight loss over the years. Okay, so in an ideal world, the goal, which is the reason I assume you clicked on this video in the first place, would be to incorporate running into your routine, keep eating more or less the same amount of food, and lose weight because of it without losing too much muscle along the way. However, what we would like to happen is not always what ends up happening. So let's start by looking at 3 hypothetical situations, which I may or may not have been in. This list is definitely not exhaustive. Let's look at the first case scenario. This happened to me when I was training for my first half marathon, and it's basically that you run so much or you expend so many calories that you are unable to eat them back. In other words, you can't eat all that you expend. This will definitely result in weight loss. However, it's not really that sustainable and you'll probably end up increasing your appetite and also probably the risk of injury. Don't get me wrong, this can definitely work for you if you're a long distance runner and you eat a lot and whatever. You'll probably end up losing weight and having a runner's physique. However, for most people, they will probably reach a point where they won't be able to keep up with that rhythm. They are probably going to burn out, and with their newfound huge appetite, maybe they gain weight, or best case, they go back to how they were before. When I was training for my first half marathon, I increased my mileage a lot. I felt great. I lost quite a bit of weight. I was eating a lot, but I definitely couldn't keep up with how much I needed to eat. But once my half marathon was over, I stopped running so much. I didn't stop running altogether, but I decreased my mileage a lot, and I gained weight because I wasn't expending as many calories, but my stomach had increased its capacity, so I was way hungrier than I was before I started to train for it. Now, scenario number 2, which is probably, I think, one of the most common ones, and is that you're going to start running and your body is probably going to stay the same. You're basically not going to lose any weight. This can happen for 2 reasons. The first one is pretty obvious, but you're probably not burning as many calories as you think you are. Honestly, for me, running like over half an hour, I burn around 300 calories, so it's definitely not that much. The second reason though is that you are probably eating back all the calories you are burning while you run. This can come into different forms. First, maybe your body isn't used to running, so it's spiking your hunger up a lot and you're eating everything back. Or maybe, like many people, when they go to the gym or they train, they think they can eat or they deserve more food just because they went running and did some exercise to burn it off. So sometimes it can happen that they eat everything back or even eat more than they actually have expended. And the last possibility is that you will indeed lose weight with running. I have gone through this phase a couple of times in the past. The downside with this one is that you will probably end up losing quite a bit of muscle. Again, getting that skinny look, but not really being toned or looking necessarily that fit. This one is, I would think, one of the most dangerous ones because it can happen like when you're on a crash diet. So you lose muscle, and if you don't keep it up in the long run, which will probably be quite difficult because you'll end up starving, once you stop running, you'll probably end up gaining a little bit of weight back, mainly because now you don't have any muscle, so you can't afford to eat as much as you did before. This basically means that the calories you need to just like survive without doing anything will lower because your basal metabolic rate will be lower too as you have less muscle. So I would say that if you really want to lose weight, First, focus on your diet, try to eat healthier in general, just less junk food, and see how that goes. Try to up your movement throughout the day. That can add up to 300, 400, 500, even 600 calories. And honestly, if you're not running really long distances, the calories you're going to burn are maybe 200, 300, depends. But that is maybe the equivalent of a donut. Now that obviously depends on what you value the most. For me, it's not worth it running half an hour to burn a dessert or something like that. In that regard, it's up to you, but I definitely think cleaning up your diet a little bit can really help, and running like a crazy person is definitely not worth it. In spite of everything I just said, I still love running and I'm a huge fan of it. So here are a few ways that you can make running work for you. First off, to make sure that you don't lose a lot of muscle, make sure that you still do some strength training and also that you're eating enough protein on a regular basis. Next, I would say that you start running really slowly and don't do too much too soon, and increase the amount of running you do very, very gradually, so that it's not a huge shock to your system and to your body, and you can keep your hunger at bay. Finally, make sure that you don't eat too little either, or you'll end up losing too much too fast, and you run the risk that it won't be sustainable at all. You'll end up quitting or worse, injured. Now, considering everything I've said throughout this video, I would encourage you to try it only if you actually enjoy it, because honestly, if you don't like it, getting your diet on point will probably be better for you mentally, and it will make your fitness journey more sustainable in the long run. No pun intended. Another option is to do like I did, which is to learn to love it. You know, when I first started running, I hated it, but now I couldn't live without it, and that is mainly due to the fact that I changed my mentality around it, and ironically, I stopped looking at it as a weight loss tool. I now run because it makes me feel great. I love the feeling I have afterwards while I'm doing it. I just have to think that I'm getting stronger and I'm overcoming obstacles. It's not necessarily the most fun thing to do, but once I'm done with it, I am always glad I've done it. And last but not least, if you totally despise it, I would suggest that you find some other type of exercise you like. Dancing can be great cardio too. Fitness in the end shouldn't be a punishment. It should be something that makes you feel great. So yeah, that is going to be it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video or find it useful in any way. If so, give me a like and see you in the next one.